Hello, welcome to Economics. Today is the first lecture for data analytics using Excel. This is a beginner's program, and before we could enter into the more regressive methods of data analysis, we have to first be experienced with how Excel basically works. So the book which I am going to be using for this course is known as, just a second, I'll start my video recording, video sharing with you people. So the book which I am going to be using is called Excel 101, The Basics and Beyond. So I have authored the book along with my co-author Jyoti Agarwal, and the book is currently being edited by Ankita Singh. So in case you want to purchase this book, do comment down below, or you can reach us at ecofunnomics.com, contact@ecofunnomics.com. The phone number is also being displayed here. So now let's quickly begin with the course. So if you are new to the entire data analytics things and have zero idea what Microsoft Excel is about, so let's first understand how to open the software. So there might be an icon like so with X mark and Excel written. So you have to double click the icon and Excel should open. In case nothing like this is visible and there is no such pinned taskbar or icon at the bottom, what you can do is go to Windows, click on the search tab and type Excel, and the app should display itself. So double click there and you should get your Excel like this on your main screen. Okay, so let's first begin with what Excel is. So Excel is a software in which you can record data, analyze data, and visually represent data. So the things like we do in our research, such as regression, linear fit, these things can also be performed in Excel very easily, which we do in Stata, SPSS, RStudio. These things can also be done in Excel to a certain limit, but the point is that you have to add on the extension, and without the extensions, these um, extensive research methods might not be supported by Excel. So let's first understand how Excel basically works and the interface of Excel. So this is how your Excel will look. To begin with, this is known as a column. Anything like A is a column, B is a column, C is a column, okay? And these are known as rows. So basically, horizontal line of cells are called rows and the verticals are called columns. Now, if I highlight one column and one row, so there will be one cell. Okay, so individual boxes are known as cell. Now, the point of intersection, if I highlight one column and highlight one row, is called as a cell, and the cell is represented first by the name of the column and then by the name of the row. So the intersecting point is being displayed over here, and the one which I have selected is called F9. Why? Because my column is F and my row is 9, and hence the intersecting cell will be called F9. Similarly, let's say I am highlighting something else. So over here we see that the point of intersection is K15. Why? Because my column is K and my row is 15. So this item over here, this cell over here is called, this one over here is called K15. Okay. So I hope that was clear. Let's move on quickly. Okay. So the uh, list of names on top, like file, home, insert, page layout, formula, data, that is called a tab. Okay. And even though it is called tabs, meaning file is a tab, home is a tab, but the entire thing is called a ribbon. Okay. And now, when I look at these things, the color thing, okay, the A, the wrap, the single items mentioned, okay, the single items mentioned, those are called button options. And when I look, so you see there is one border on the left hand side and one border on the right hand side. Together, like conditional formatting, format as a table, cell style, all together is called a group. Okay. Okay. Uh, Another thing which is very crucial, which we need to know, is this is called one sheet. Please take a look at the bottom of your window where you see there is written sheet 1. If you have an older version of Excel, probably it will have sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 3 mentioned. However, when you're working on one sheet, that is called a single sheet, and a collective sheets together is called a workbook. Okay. So by clicking on the plus sign, you can add more sheets. By double clicking on the name, you can edit what you want to write. Let's say class 1. Okay. Similarly, uh, let's say class 1.1. So when you double click and then backspace and then type on it, you can rename your sheet. If you want to delete your sheet, right click on the sheet and click on delete. Okay. Similarly, right click, click on delete. So you can do that. So mentioning again, a group of sheets together is called as a workbook. Okay. Now, let's understand how to save a file. File, save as, this PC, let's say desktop. You can do wherever you want to. Let's say data analysis class 1. Okay. And then save. Okay. So once you have saved a file, the saved file is witnessed, or you can witness it on top. See over here on the green part, it is written data analysis class 1. And if I close it and I want to reopen it, you will see, see over here, data analysis class 1 is saved on my desktop because there is, desktop is where I chose to save it. Okay. I can double click it and very conveniently resume from where I had left my work. Okay. Now I want to delete my entire work like this. I'll right click on this one and click on delete. Okay. And it is totally gone. So far, I hope everything is clear. If you have a doubt, please comment down below. I will personally take the time to reply to one and all. Okay. And if you have my number, if you are my existing student, please text me directly. If you're not, please, you can either message down below or use one of the contact details to reach me. Okay. So now let's understand how the introduction of Excel. Okay. So we understand what Excel is, We looked at the interface of Excel, and now let's look at few of the basic um, tools or functions of Excel so that we can work beyond when we are doing with our data analysis data. Okay. Okay. So what we need to know is a page layout, formula, and review function. Okay. So the data is not enough in this one. So I'll open some other file. Okay. So you can see I have opened a data which is macroeconomic aggregates, and this data is downloaded from Reserve Bank of India. Okay. So let's just take a look. This is a row, as I mentioned. If you wish to delete it, go to home, click on delete. Okay. Now, what if I click on the drop down? Okay. So delete, and obviously you'll get delete cells, delete rows, delete sheet. But if you directly click on delete, you will delete the row because that is what you have clicked on. Okay. Now, okay. Now let's quickly take a look and understand. So we have deleted the row. Let's delete a column. We deleted the column. Now let's say I want to delete a cell. Okay. I clicked on this cell and I want to delete it. See, I have clicked on cell H11. Okay. I want to delete this cell. What will I do? I'll click on delete. Okay. But it is not showing delete, because there are some merged cells in it. Okay, fine, no issue. Let me see if there is something else I can delete. Click on delete cell. Okay, so I have clicked on cell number G6 and have clicked on delete drop down arrow and clicked on delete cell. Okay, when I click on delete cell, I get few options. Shift the cells left, shift the cells up, delete the entire row, or delete the entire column. So here, let's say I want to shift the cells left, meaning what will happen in place of, okay, so when do we need it? Let's say by error, I have clicked 7 double time and then I have clicked 8 in the next cell. Okay. Now I'm saying that I don't want to retype it. Let's say you have already typed till 100 and then there is just one blunder and you want to delete this overwritten thing. What will I do? I'll click on the cell, click on delete, click on delete cell, and click on shift the cells to the left. Okay. So now what I see, 7 has shifted because I have deleted 1 7. The 7 on the right has shifted to the left and the 8 on the right has moved to its place. Now, what will happen if I delete it, saying delete the cells up? Okay. So we see that there are some merged cells and hence it is not possible. Okay. So merge cells, it is not possible. Let's try with something else. What if I try to delete this and if we can delete it? Delete the cells up. So there are merge cells, okay? So I'll just type few examples for you so that you know. Okay. Okay. So I have created an error over here and I don't want to do the entire thing. What will I do? I'll click on the cell, I'll click on delete cell and shift the cells up. Okay. So that space was deleted. Another method to do that would be select the entire thing, Control X, Control V. What did I type? Control X and then I pressed Control V. So Control X means cut, Control C means copy, Control V means paste. Okay, so that's about it. Now we have to learn few more things. Let's say that, uh, let's just say that I don't have all this, okay? I have from here. Now what I want to do is I want to see what is at below, but whenever I'm going to see what is at below, I am losing my year name, and hence what I want to do is uh, fix it. So what will I do? I'll click on the row, I'll go to freeze pane, and I will freeze top row. Okay, once I freeze the top row, when I scroll down, the year still remains there. It is constant. Similarly, what I can do is freeze the first column. So let's say that it is pretty big, okay, the font size is big, and I'd want to see what is going through in the other years, and I scroll this side, so I see that the year or the item column number A is fixed. Okay, so there is another thing which you can do is go to freeze panes and freeze. Okay, so there is some. Okay, so what we can do is go to freeze panes and we can select freeze panes. What will this do? This will you know, this will freeze a bunch of rows on the top, and that is what will happen, and a bunch of columns at the start. However, I am not very appreciative of doing freeze panes. Rather than, I believe, freezing the first row and freezing the first column. However, if you feel you're working with a lot of data and you want to freeze a few rows on the top and few columns at the start, so you may obviously use freeze panes. Okay, so I think, okay, so I have to do one more thing. So teach you one more thing before we can move forward. I have to unfreeze everything. Just a second. Okay, so as you can see, you can zoom from here and zoom out from here and zoom in from here, okay? Now, let's understand one thing. If you want to increase the width of a column, you simply do this. What do? We place the cursor in between two columns and we get a plus sign, okay? And then click and drag to increase, click and drag to decrease. Similarly, if you want to increase the height of a row, you will place your cursor in between two rows, that is 2 and 3 for my case, and then click and drag to increase and click and drag to decrease. Okay, I hope this is clear. Another thing which we need to learn over here is, for example, let's see. Okay, so I am purposely decreasing the width of the column. Okay, now what if I want to increase the width of the column? So firstly, what I can do is do this, okay? Or what I can do is just bring my cursor in between the two rows, and when we get the plus sign, I simply double click, okay? That is something we can do. Now, another thing which we can do is select a cell. Let's take this cell and click on wrap text, okay? So when we do wrap text, what happens is that, like for example, it was consumption of fixed capital, okay? Consumption of fixed capital. So here when we are reading, we can read only till CAP, capital, uh, ITAL is not visible. So if we adjust the width, we can obviously see it, but the other method is clicking on wrap. When we wrap, the text which is not visible and was hiding under the next column then comes below, and now you can see it and read it. Okay, when is this useful? This is mostly useful if you're you're doing report writing. So for report writing, what happens? It's A4 and you need to fit a lot of things within that A4. if you change the layout of the page, it is well and good. But if you're not changing the layout of the page, then you have to reduce the width of the columns. And after reducing the width of the columns, what you have to do is wrap the text so that it is visible. Okay. Um, okay. Now let's take a look at merge and center. Let's say uh, I want to add a heading on top. Okay, there was a heading, but just for convenience sake and for the class's purpose, we are going to add a heading on the top. Okay, now there are multiple cells. If I write over here, macro aggregates. Okay, or let's write something else like RBI data. Okay. Now, I have written RBI data, but obviously this does not look very good. We can change the font from here, let's say, and increasing the font size. Very good. But still, it does not look like a heading. What do we need to do? I will select all the cell and click on merge and center. Now it becomes like a heading, okay, like a heading. Now, alignment, obviously, you can select from here. If you want at the top of the cell, you can select that. If you want a middle alignment, you can do this. If you want a left alignment, you can do this. But however, I go for this. Obviously, you know the trick of bold, italics, and underline. And if you want to change the color of your write-up, I mean text, you can obviously change it with the A written over there. If you want to fill the cell with a color, you can use the color can, how you call it, from there, okay? So those are all the methods. And let me see what else we need to cover in this class. Okay, so there is one thing which we need to learn. Let's say, let's say I have inserted a cell and we need to label them as variable 1, variable 2, variable 3, variable 4. So I am just teaching the easy methods because there are other methods to it, but these are the most easy methods because from the next class, we need to handle the data and understand the data, and basic Excel tools might not be that much necessary for the next class. Okay, so I'll just teach as much as necessary. Okay, so let's call this as variable 001. Okay, and then what you can do is go on typing variable 002 or variable 003. Okay, but what if I want, Excel to do it? I'll simply put my cursor at the right bottom corner of the cell and double click. Okay, see, I got till here. Now for the places you do not need, you can obviously select them and click on delete. Okay, but one method is that, and the other method is pull and drag. Okay, now this is done. Very good. You got all your variable 001, variable 002, and so on. Now, what if I want numbers? Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, now if I go and do this, just a second. Okay, so this trick about double clicking, okay, like I showed over here, I brought my cursor and then I double click. That trick only works if the data is linked to another data, okay. For example, if I am writing over here var 001 and then I am doing this, then the double click will not work. You will have to pull and drag, okay. But however, if I'm doing it over here, meaning where the data is already there, so basically Excel knows how far to write your variable 001, it will know. Okay. Now, let's say I have this 1, 2, 3 and I want to drag it. So if I drag, I am getting only 3. Okay. At times you will get 1, 2, 3, 4, no problem. But sometimes when you don't get, what we'll do? Okay. So what will happen if I drag 1, 2, 3 and select the 3 cells and drag it? We got, okay, we got to 27. So basically what I'm saying, you have to type 1, 2, 3 a little, just giving an instruction how far you want, what you want, and then you'll do. Now, so now let's understand and let's do 1 or 2 exercises. So in case you want access to these exercises, there are plenty of practice exercises over here. Please do let me know. You can purchase the book. It is extremely cheap and you should not be having a problem with the practice questions as well. So let's say student name. Okay. So we have student 1, student 2, and then we'll drag till student 5. Then we have maths score. Then we have science score. Then we have English score. And we'll select the entire data and double click. And the width will adjust. We have 89, 77. Okay, let's do the tab. Okay. 89, 76, 68, 92. There is economics over here. Economics score. Okay. Then we have 77, 45, 67, 89. Then we have 34, 68, 54, 87. Then we have 55, 67, 65, 54. And the last student has 41, 56, 73, 59. So this is my data. I can select the data, go to insert, click on table and OK. So now my data is represented in a tabular format and which looks prettier. You can obviously change the font from here, size, and obviously adjust the entire thing. And you can also select the style and format as table and change the style of the data. Okay, so I think there are plenty of other exercises over here. I would highly suggest that you practice those as well. So in case you do not wish to buy the book, there are some over here. You can take a screenshot and practice the. So that's about it for this class. And in the next class, we will move to the next chapter, which is what I really do not know. I have to see myself. So we will be entering into the basics of data management. We are going to learn about conditional formatting, and we have a lot of topics to cover. So if you liked the video, thank you. And drop a message if you have a doubt and get in touch if you need any help or suggestions. See you in my